Hey guys, you are with the Tech Science. Today we are discussing a new point, and the point is based on the structure of neuron, a very important part in the human body, inside the human body, and that point is concerned with the different type of different standard for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th also, and that is called coordination. And whenever there is a messages are transferred inside the human body, so that will be from an organ to the brain or brain to the organ, that is because of the nervous system, and it is nothing but different types of nerves are there, and these nerves having a basic structural and functional part, and this is called as the neuron. It is called neuron. So generally the impulses which are generated in the human body in accordance with the changes what happened to the surrounding, on the basis of that the changes are occur, and for the reason we have this structure, and this structure is called neuron. This is the complete structure, it is called the neuron. And if you observe the structure, the first part starting with the neuron, it is starting from the dendrite, then we have the second part, it is called the axon, and lastly it is called as the nerve ending, also called as the axon terminal. So basically you should messages are transferred from this dendrite to the axon terminal. This is what the way of the impulses or the messages in the form of electrochemical impulse that has been transferred from dendrite to axon terminal, and this is what exactly a kind of very good coordination in the human being. So what happened to the surrounding, on the basis of that, so all the information about our surrounding is collected by this end of this dendrite, and here the receptors are there. What happened here? Here the receptors are there, and these receptors having at the end of this dendrite, so these receptor carry all the information, and here the some kind of chemical processes are begin at this end. Observe, this is the dendrite end, and here as per the stimuli to the what happened to the surrounding, on the basis of that here the chemical process begins at this end, and electrical impulses are generated, and which are conducted from this dendrite, and it move towards the next point from dendrites towards the cell body, Now here inside the cell body there is a soma, it is called cell body, nucleus is there, and all the metabolic activities regarding the cell that has been happened here, as just we know regarding the structure and function of the cells, all the parts are there. Of course this is the cytoplasm part along with the nucleus. So generally here metabolic activities are there. Now from this the messages move towards this next part, it is called axon. Now from this part the axon gets started. So what is the function of dendrite? Some kind of chemical process begins here, and this chemical get converted into the electrochemical impulse on the basis of what happened to the surrounding, and it is moved towards the axon through the cell body. So this is the function of dendrite. Now axon, where is axon? Observe, this is a tube like structure. If you observe, this is a tube like structure. If you observe, this is the tube like structure, and this tube like structure is nothing but called as the axon, and this axon is responsible to carry out the message. Where it carry message? It carry the message from this cell body towards the end. Where is the end? This is what the axon terminal, also called as the nerve ending. So the message get moved toward the end side, so it move message away from the cell body and move toward the end. This is what the question will be asked in the computer examination. What is the function of axon? Okay, and finally the message is received at the axon terminal, and from the axon terminal, of course there is a second axon is there, second neuron is there. What is the nerve cell? Nerve cell nothing but a kind of diagram is there. A series of this neuron is there, one after another. They are arranged in a somewhat gap is there in between these, and they will be move in this direction only. If you observe, you found that what you found? You found that there is a series of neurons are there, one after the another. So when the message is come at the end axon terminal, what happened here? Again here there is a gap in between the axon terminal and the second neuron, and we know that second neuron always start from dendrite. So this gap is called synapse, or sometimes like pronounced like a synapse. So this gap is called synapse. Of course, there is a gap. If there is no gap, so what should be the scenario like that? The scenario is like that: electrochemical impulse directly transferred, but at the end of this axon terminal and the next neuron gets started, there is a gap, and this gap is called synapse. And because that, now again this electrochemical impulse at the axon terminal, at this nerve ending, it get converted into the chemical, and that chemical get released. And when the chemical get released, it is collected by the dendrite of another neuron, and again it get converted into electrochemical impulse, and the message in the form of electrochemical impulse, it is moved from one neuron to another neuron, from second neuron to third neuron, and so on, and finally through via the spinal cord it moves towards the brain. Okay, so this is what the criteria, how the message that has been transferred, what happened to the surrounding. Okay, as per the environment, what happened to the surrounding. So with the help of this dendrite, the message has been transferred via this soma, or called as the cell body, with the help of this axon, and finally it reaches at the axon terminal, and also called as the nerve ending. In between that some kind of other like things are there. Observe, this is called myelin sheath. What is this? So myelin sheath, a kind of insulating layer is there, and that forms around the nerves, around this axon, and it is made up of kind of protein and fatty substances. What is the function? The myelin sheath allows electrochemical impulse to transmit quickly and efficiently along the nerve cell. And suppose the myelin sheath get like damage, of course there is a problem. What is the problem? The impulses slow down. This is what the myelin sheath, which provides some kind of protection to this nerve cell, also called as the one like axon, main thing. Second, we have the Schwann cell also. What is the Schwann cell? This is Schwann cell, nothing but kind of like things is there in the main like around this myelin sheath, inside the myelin sheath. And what is the function? Whenever it having a special function. What is that? It having an essential role in the survival and function of neuron. How? In response to the nerve injury, these Schwann cells undergo the rapid changes. Observe, this is the Schwann cell, and it having the, in case of the injury, Schwann cells undergo rapid changes, and their basal lamina provide conduct for axon regrowth. So there is responsible to regrowth the axon, and a critical process for the nerve regeneration. So in case of damage, the Schwann cells having a very important role is that regarding the Schwann cells. So we have one more point, that is called node of Ranvier. It is not shown in the diagram. So this is what exactly the periodic gap in between this sheath. In between the sheath we have some periodic gap is there. Observe, in between this sheath. So this is what, in between this we have some periodic gap, and this gap is called as the node of Ranvier. So here, so generally of course it is also used for the rapid conduction of nerve impulses. So this is what a complete structure regarding the neuron, how this neuron carry electrochemical impulses from the what happened to the surrounding. On the basis of that, from dendrite to the nerve ending, also called as the axon terminal. I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please subscribe my channel and press on the bell icon for the new notification. Thank you.